transition, piggyback on something I think David mentioned, that is getting out of Talbot. When you freshly got out of Talbot, you learned your exegesis, you learned your languages, you took your preaching classes, and then you met this thing called ministry in Los Angeles and Orange County. And it sometimes feels like that boat, right, that is sinking, and you're like, what can I throw out of the boat right now to keep this thing afloat? Which tools can I use, and how do I use it? And for me as a pastor and as a professor, I daily sort of have these two parts in my brain. One part is I want students to learn the material and really get this. And my other part is on the weekends, I'm a pastor recognizing how is this to be used in the church? And so I want to ask each of you, and we can have a conversation about it as well, how did a Talbot education help you? What were the areas that you found, I don't know, what were those areas that helped you out, that you gained in your Talbot experience, that helps your ministry today? So I'll throw it out there.
Well, I think obviously being able to handle the word, I know you guys graduated earlier than I did. I graduated in '98, and in '98 till now, the world was a different place, Yeah. And I specifically remember, the internet was just kind of getting going a little bit, and I remember going to, one day going to even buy a sermon tape at Chuck Swindoll's church. I had to go to their tape ministry thing and pay $2 and bought a tape because I wanted to hear his sermon. And I mean, it's just a different beast.
Very different.
Yeah, and but I think the one thing that has been the same is the word, and to be able to handle and teach the word with clarity and conviction, I think is really the big tool that we have, is our weapon, right? It's the sword of the Spirit, and that's the only thing we have. And so we could work on all of our projects and methods and all the things that we try to do, but I think, being able to handle that, being able to teach, what the original intent of the author was, and to be able to explain that is still very powerful. Some churches are very hip, and they have, 50 people on staff running everything, and then there's some that's just one guy by himself trying to figure out how to make things work. And but the one thing that we all have is that. So I would press upon that, and just the significance of that. And I think just secondly, the importance of what was Talbot distinguished Talbot from others, I think, was a lot of the staff, the professors, had these pastoral hearts, and they were in ministry. Like you said, you're doing ministry, and so I still go meet up with Mick Boersma, and we talk about things, and so it wasn't just simply learning book knowledge, but it was, hey, how did you handle this, and how did you what did you deal with this person that's doing this, and so I had lunch with him 2 weeks ago, and just talked about life in church, and that was a great, that's priceless. And so I would highlight that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the rest of you? How has a seminary education, and maybe your Talbot experience, how has it helped and equipped you and other pastors for ministry?
I would say ditto on what Steve said about the word. I'm so privileged to have had the education I've had in terms of having the tools to get into the word, to study well, like we say, to do the exegesis and do all that stuff and really bring out the meaning of that text. And in the Hispanic community, you've got, this is my opinion, things could be changing, but a lot of guys are very passionate for ministry, and so they put them out there, sink or swim, and maybe you get a little corner store, or what do they call that, glass window kind of deal. Yeah. There you go, that, and there they are, man, but they don't know anything. They got a lot of passion, but they don't know how to, so they commit a lot of blunders, so their heart is right, but their skills are lacking. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, what I think I'm really grateful for is that I have a passion to empower those guys, because they're not going to get a chance to come to Biola. It's too expensive. You know, they're married, they got kids, they're bivocational. And so if I can, I had the privilege of being in small Bible institutes, you know, in East LA, now here in the Anaheim area, and to be able to empower 20, 30 students, you know, who can't come to Biola. But I'm trained so I can give them the best that I can, you know. They get the top education for $100 a class. You know, you can't beat that. So I'm just really grateful that I had that opportunity to be equipped so I can empower these young pastors in the, you know, Latino community.
Biola University offers a variety of biblically centered degree programs, ranging from business to ministry to the arts and sciences. Visit biola.edu to find out how Biola could make a difference in your life.